Hello and welcome to today's practice. Our focus today is going to be on Yin Yoga for conception and fertility. So I invite you to root down through your pelvis and hips, find a comfortable seated position on your mat. You may wish to sit on a pillow or a block. Just allow your shoulders to soften and close your eyes. Taking a breath in and then fully let go and empty the lungs. Allow yourself to feel your breath, to notice how it feels as it enters and leaves your body. Does it feel warm as it comes in? Notice the temperature of your breath as it leaves your body. Allow your shoulders to soften. Invite your pelvis to root down into the earth. Today's poses are going to focus on calming the nervous system, grounding us into the here and now. Big focus will also be to regulate our menstrual cycle, whether that is a really heavy and painful cycle, whether it's a light cycle, a regular, painful, a missing cycle. The poses will increase circulation and blood flow to the pelvis, the ovaries, the womb, and also activate our thyroid gland at the front of our neck, all of which is really important for optimizing our fertility, regulating our cycles, and also reducing tension and stress. We're going to connect to the heart space now. You can place both your hands on your heart. Just taking a breath in and allowing yourself to be with any emotions that are present for you in the here and now. You may be here because you want to consciously conceive. You may be here because you've had difficulties with conceiving, miscarriage, loss. Whatever has brought you here, allow yourself to witness and honour all that you bring, all that's here. Allow your exhale to lengthen. Feeling into that space around your heart. If we've had difficulties in the past, we can put walls up around our hearts to protect ourselves. To protect ourselves from pain, from grief, from all the other emotions that we might want to avoid, guilt, shame, anger. Allow your heart space to soften. Allow what needs to rise to move today. So that we can return to our birthright, which is to experience joy, to welcome in what we want, what we love. Life is painful, but it's also full of joy. Taking a breath in, we're going to take one hand to our womb space. Just notice what's here. When you place your hand on your womb, what is here? Tenderness, sadness, pain, maybe comfort that you're holding yourself. And now allow yourself to walk the path from your heart to your womb. Walk this bridge, this channel of love. It's said that this bridge is the sisterhood. When we connect our hearts and our womb spaces, we connect back into the holding of the sisterhood, which shows up in our society as being so wounded, so broken. So allow yourself to walk that path from that open heart space all the way down to your womb. Now allowing your hand on your heart to come onto the top of the hand on your womb space. Just be with what is, not what your mind wants to tell you, what it wants to say. Be with what's here in your body, right here, in this moment. Could be sadness. And from this place, allow your womb to speak an intention to you for the practice. It might have a message for you, a word, a phrase. My womb is speaking to me, just saying, stay with me. We're often disconnected, being ruled by the mind, on the go, busy. My body's telling me to stay, to slow down and stay, to feel. Just listen to what message your body has for you. It's often really simple. Yeah, from this beautiful place, we're going to open our eyes and we're going to bring the soles of our feet together now into a butterfly pose. So knees wide, feet together. We're going to lift up the chest on the in-breath. And as we exhale, we're going to float forwards and bring our head towards our heels and our hands either onto our ankles or onto the floor in front. You'll feel this stretch in your lower back. And I'm just going to grab a block to show you a variation. So remember that you can sit on a cushion if you like, or a block, that's more comfortable. You can also place something between your head and your feet to rest onto. So yin yoga, you're going to stay in this pose while I talk. Yin yoga isn't about how it looks, it's about how it feels. So it's about you and the pose, you finding your edge. So coming to a point where it feels intense, but it's not painful or uncomfortable. And then see if you can stay with yourself. This seems to be the theme. See if you can stay with the intensity, any resistance, and allow yourself to be with what's here in your body. You might feel a stretch in your back, your hips, your groin. If you've went too far, you can come back a little. If you feel you can move a little bit deeper into the pose for our final half of a minute. You can take the block away if you feel you can take your head closer to your hands. Hold them for your final breath. And then very gently rise back up to a seated position, taking your feet out in front, hands behind, and we're just going to wipe the legs side to side just to open up from the pose. Anything that presents itself in yin is important, and it's less about the practice and more about what's present in your life. So don't write off anything, allow everything to be a message, to be of significance. No matter if it's the pain in your foot, the thoughts about work, whatever it is, notice and allow and go towards it with curiosity. From here we're going to come into a seated position with our legs long. You can sit on a cushion or a block if you have one. This pose is called caterpillar. We're going to lengthen our legs out. You can allow the knees to stay bent a little bit. And from here we're going to lift up the chest on the inhale, and then exhale, melt your chest onto your thighs and take your hands down your legs towards your ankles. So you're folding in two. Now you'll notice that my body is naturally quite stiff. Much less stiff than it used to be, but so you may feel that you can keep your legs straight and go much deeper in this pose. So this is all about you finding your intensity, your edge. You can also use a block here if you wish, to put a block between your head and your knees, or even a cushion. You'll feel this in your lower back, your spine, This really helps to reduce tension in our back and our spine. So allow yourself to drop inwards, to notice what's here for you. Any sensations, emotions, maybe a memory has popped up, maybe your mind's focused on something. Hold them for a final half a minute. Taking your final breath here and then very gently rise back up. We're going to come to lying on our backs just for a mini Savasana. So lying flat on your back if that's comfortable for you, with your palms facing up towards the ceiling. Bring your awareness to your heart and your womb. And walk that bridge again from your heart space to your womb. The channel of love. Taking a final breath in. We're going to gently come back up. This time we're going to come into a deep squat. So your options are you can do this with your back at the wall. You can do it with blocks underneath your hips. So I'll show you first. You can do it at the wall. You won't see me for a second as I squat down. So you can come to here, lean back. So my hips are kind of off the floor a couple of inches, but my entire spine and back are on the wall. I'm pressing my back into the wall. So you have this option. You can also come away from the wall and have a couple of blocks or pillows underneath your hips. Here. So you see what suits you best, or you can do it without any prop. I'm going to do it at the wall because it gives me the best view of you all. It allows me to go really deep but yet be supported and held. So you can close your eyes in this pose, drop a little bit more inwards now. This pose allows you to release really deeply held tension in your spine and in your back, in your pelvis. You find the depth that works for you. This is your practice. And then just notice what's here. Yin yoga gives you sacred time, spacious time with yourself. Accessing your own wisdom, leaning into self-trust. You know what it is that you need. If you can allow yourself to really slow down and to listen. To go inwards. you've went too far, you can come back a little, you can change position, bring in something to support you. If you can't want, you can go a little deeper for our last 30 seconds. And then very gently let go of the pose of your hands. Start to lean forwards and come onto your knees. All very gently in your own time. Coming onto hands and knees. We're going to move into our final pose before we come into relaxation. We're just going to soften in between, so round the spine and then release, round and release, round and release. And then from here we're going to move on to our tummies into Sphinx pose. So we bring our hands up around the level of our shoulders, and we actually bring the hands slightly forward from the shoulders. And then we're going to gently rise up onto our elbows. So elbows are underneath the shoulders, hands in front. If this feels like it's very easy, there's no intensity, you can look up. If it still feels very easy, you can bring your elbows back a little bit towards you. This pose helps to stimulate the thyroid gland at the front of the neck, which is really important in fertility. We're going to stay soft in our shoulders. If you're not feeling any intensity here, you can push up onto your hands. But staying here is a lovely pose if it feels good for you on your elbows. Feel that stretch at the front of your neck. Your hips, your buttocks stay soft. If you've went too far, you can soften off a little, ease off. If you feel you have more, you can deepen the pose for our final 30 seconds. Taking a final breath. And then release down onto your tummy, folding your forearms, resting your head on the back of your forearms. Well done. From there, we're going to come back up onto our hands and knees. And we're just going to come back and forwards from child's pose to bring in the hands, the head over the hands, just 3 or 4 times. And then we're going to get comfy for our final part, relaxation. You're going to get a blanket. If you don't already have one, you can put your socks back on. Pop a blanket over your legs and lie flat on your back. If it's not comfy for you to lie flat on your back, you can place a pillow or cushions under your knees or a bolster if you have one. We're going to just lie flat. So just closing the practice. Just noticing what's here for you, what's moved. And allow yourself to really soften and release now into the mat. We're going to do an acupressure point. Acupressure is acupuncture without the needles. So we're going to come to the belly button and we're going to come down about 1.5 inches into conception vessel 6. So measuring about 1.5 inches down centrally from your belly button and find a point, that point. And you're going to use your index finger or your middle finger and just apply a very gentle pressure. You can move in a circular motion if you like, clockwise. This is conception vessel 6. It's known as the sea of chi, which means the sea of energy. So it's a really nourishing acupressure point. It's great for overall energy and vitality if you're feeling fatigue and just low energy. This is a fantastic point. Also for irregularities with your menstrual cycle. It's great to strengthen fertility, digestion, and it's also an important point for anyone who has any kind of prolapse. So you can close your eyes. You're going to just do this for another 30 seconds. And from this place, just lean into what it is that you wish for. Allow your vision to become reality. Imagine that it's already here. Any fears, any resistance, any blocks. Move into the vision. Move into the dream. And take a breath in and let go. Allow yourself to see it, to feel it, to be it now. And then gently take your hand off the acupressure point and just bring your blanket up and get nice and cozy. Closing your eyes. Allow your body to really sink into the earth's holding. Allow yourself to be held. Yin yoga is self-love. So well done for being here today, for completing this practice. Feel your breath lengthen. And I'm going to finish today with a song on my guitar. How did you ever tell yourself you were anything less than beautiful? How did you ever tell yourself you were less than whole? How did you ever fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How did you ever tell yourself you were anything less than beautiful? How did you ever tell yourself you were less than whole? How did you ever fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Alright, well done everyone. Hope you have a lovely day. It might be nice to journal after this practice, because often what comes through, the messages we get, we can rush past them. It's just taking time to write down or to notice and record anything that moved for you. Thank you so much. Namaste.